Australia looks to be on the border of a mess as well. The calls to close Australia's border with Indonesia over the risk of foot and mouth disease are actually growing. The latest is Independent MP for Mayo, Rebecca Sharkey. Frankly, it makes a nice change for Sharkey to support Australia's sovereign border determinations. But her track record in respecting the ability of our nation to determine who can come here and under what circumstances is somewhat less than stellar. Sharkey, I will remind you, was a strong supporter of the Medivac legislation, which allowed undocumented queue jumpers stuck on Manus Island and Nauru to head to Australia on spurious medical grounds. While I believe Sharkey was and continues to be absolutely wrong when it comes to undocumented arrivals, I think she's on the money with her concerns about foot and mouth disease. It's estimated that if the live virus were to enter Australia, it would decimate the Australian cattle industry and cost us as much as $80 billion. Barnaby Joyce, he's never known to mince words, said such a circumstance would send food prices, including butter, milk, cheese, as well as the meat products, absolutely through the roof. And the Agriculture Minister, who, I have to say, doesn't have as much experience as others or much association in the agricultural sector, has said there's actually no silver bullet to stopping the spread of this disease in Australia. Now, the last time we had a Labor Ag Minister with a similar breadth of knowledge was back in 2011. You might recall, then Minister Joe Ludwig shut down the live cattle export business to Indonesia that decimated the industry. Now, that order, which was made hastily after an alarmist ABC report was broadcast, was later ruled capricious and invalid and amounted to misfeasance of public office. 2 years since that ruling by the federal court, estimates of compensation around $2 billion. It's $1.2 billion in damages and $800 million in interest. Regrettably, after 12 years of waiting, many of the players initially affected by this have actually gone broke and are out of the industry. I've got to say, Australia cannot afford a similar debacle attached to foot and mouth. To his credit, Minister Watt, the Agricultural Minister, has announced some new biosecurity measures and some additional funding. He said, and I quote, "The reason this would be such a devastating blow is that the rest of the world would treat Australia as having foot and mouth disease, which would pretty much shut down our livestock export industry overnight." Well, here I am reminding him that's exactly what your predecessor did, illegally. And that's going to cost us an estimated $2 billion. Imagine what a lack of action on foot and mouth could cost us all.